Hi everyone, Linda here, the scrapbooking photographer. Today I'm taking part in the Iron Crafter Challenge Hop, which is run by Peace Love Craft Clubhouse. And the challenge for this month was to use wood veneer. What you see here is the sum total of my wood veneer products in my stash. These are from close to my heart. The only ones that I have purchased so far, and these ones I found in my embellishment drawer when I went diving for something. The photos I'm using today are two of the venue of a wedding that I went to for one of my nieces back in 2019, who got married at a Kuti garden in just out of Christchurch. And it was a very natural looking environment. There were tents up for people to stay in overnight. It was very relaxed. It was just a gorgeous wedding to go to, and thoroughly enjoyed the day, hanging out with family and making new friends and all those other things that you do at family weddings. These are the only two that I have of the venue without any people in them. So I want these to be sort of at the beginning of the project. So what I've done is scrolled back in my messages from Kate and found the wedding info sheet. So this is actually a really beautiful big photo of the venue as well, with some details of the day on the front. So I sent it from Messenger to my computer as a PDF file. Then I switched it over into Photoshop and saved it as a JPEG to print it out on photo paper to get the good resolution. So once I did it full size, I realized it was a little too big for the page. So I've done it again at a reduced size of 6x8, and I think that's going to work better. So with that and these two photos, we're going to start working on a piece of sage cardstock as the background. So I'll get this all to one side and we'll see how we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is just trim this backdrop down, just to get an idea of the size and the amount of room it's going to take up on the page. Now I sized it as a 6x8, so I guess it will take up that much room, but just see how it works with the other two photos and how I'm going to get a basic layout, and then I can work from there to see what's going to happen behind the photos, as some mixed media or something. We will see. So is that, and then these two pictures. Now you can see I'm going to trim these down, possibly two, to make one up the top and one down the bottom. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And you can see how if I'd used the 10x8, it just would have been too big and not really doing what I want it to do, which is A, provide a third point of interest, and B, give us some information about the day that's going to lead us into the rest of the album. So I'll just trim these down. So that they work better now either side of the writing in the middle here. And I'll probably mount this back one as well, and these. We'll see how we go. So I now know that I've got some room up here for some mixed media and some room down here. So I think toffee is going to work quite well as a coordinating colour on here. So I'll just pop those to one side for now. And using a technique that I've seen others do, I'm going to use this piece of packaging that some of those wood things came out of, and just get a little bit of toffee in the background, just to add to that feeling of country. And you'll notice it's heavier down the bottom, and that's good because I don't want it heavy around the outside where I'm going to go over the top with some leaf stencils. Okay, that will do for that. So I've got two greens here, pine and sage. I'm just going to start with the pine. I'm starting with the darker colours and then going a bit lighter as I come up maybe. And I'll just do a little bit of this down here and see what I think of that colour. Yeah, I think that will work, but I might just put a smaller one in here. So the next one I'm going to use is this leaf. There's smaller leaves and they're in another stencil kit. These are quickly becoming some of my favourite stencils because I love nature and I love leaves and I love green. So it's amazing how often they do the job with the photos that I like to take as well. So, oops. So I'm just going to go quickly and lightly over these just to give the impression of what they are really. So whilst they're slipping around a bit, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll just bring these in and see what they look like. See if we've got the general idea right. Yep, that's what I was going for. That kind of look. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to mount this in the toffee, which will bring out the toffee from there. Now I've got the toffee, I don't think it's the right colour. So if I just try that. I think I would prefer something darker, so I'm just going to try this one, which is espresso, the lighter side of espresso, and this is the darker side. And I think I like that better. Right, so that's all mounted now, so that can go there. And then we've got these two. I don't think they need to be mounted because the sage background provides a frame around the outside, and then in here they kind of blend into that background photo that we've got there. So normally I would add some texture paste in here with some hearts and things just to reflect the fact that it's a wedding, but because we're doing wood veneer today, it is taking me away from what I would normally do, and I'm thinking I'll add some of the wood veneer hearts in different places, which will work perfectly with the wedding theme. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. So I'm just wondering if this little garland here might fit along there. hearts out. So I'll just remove these little hearts with my piercing tool, and they can just, they're very tiny. I don't know that you'd see them if you put them on here. I might put them to one side and use them on a card. So that fits quite nicely there. And I'll put the title up here. Now the title I was going to write was going to be The Venue. But when I counted the letters I don't have enough E's to write The Venue. I have enough for venue, so that's what we're going to go with, and I'll stamp the in a different colour just to mix it up a little bit. So these aren't sticky, so we can just lay them out and see how they look. I'm also wondering they might need a little bit of help to show out on the sage, so I might either darken them or put something dark underneath them. We've got this little tag here, and I'm just going to pop that up there, I think. See if I can stamp on it the word "the." And then we'll put a couple of other hearts. Okay, and I think that kind of speaks for itself. I'm not sure if it needs some more. It does need, I might end up putting some texture paste on here anyway, I think. Unless I move that to the top. No, I like it there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put some texture paste on there after all. I don't want too much paste because I haven't got a lot to do. Just get those out of the way or they'll end up in it. I'm going to use some espresso ink, just because it's the same colour as the cardstock I've used to mount things on, and it will also bring a little bit of the brown through to the texture paste, because often when you use the ink it comes out lighter anyway. So if I use something like toffee, for example, the paste is likely to come out kind of beige, and I want something a little bit more definite. Okay, so that's going to be good and brown by the look of it, which is what we want. So just going to put a few of these hearts in here, just scattered through the leaves. Better. I do like that with just a little bit of texture in there. I always put some Glad wrap over the top of my jar of paste before I put the lid on, and I'm going to need a new piece of Glad wrap soon because that's starting to get holes in it, which won't help it stay fresh. So I'm quite happy with all of this section. What I'm not happy with is up here, the venue. I would like to come out a little more from the background. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dark of this espresso colour behind it. And to do that, I'm going to use this Perfectly Imperfect Patterns and just use the one of these background type stamps. Now I am going to use espresso, but I'm going to do a secondary stamp, just to give it a little bit of colour behind there. Now the way you could do this, of course, is to put a piece of card underneath it, but I don't really want to do that. Oops, that's a bit blobby. Okay, one more. Okay, so let's see if that makes a difference to these letters showing up, and I think it will. Yeah. Cool. And then we need to stamp the on there. So I have the words the, or the letters THE to make the word the on my stamp, and I'm just going to see if it stamps on this wood veneer. I haven't tried it before, so whoops, nothing was stuck there, so that didn't work very well. I'll just pop this down and see how it comes out. I'm using the dark brown espresso ink because that's what I want to show out. Yep, that'll do the trick. I'll take that heart out. Okay. I'm ready to stick down. So I'll put the espresso ink away and get my double-sided sticky tape. Now I'll just pop that in first without turning it over because I don't want to smudge the ink. This one, if I put some double-sided tape on over the top of my multi-purpose mat, then it doesn't really matter if it goes over the side because I can wipe it off. And I'll bring this down just so that it misses the writing and has a relatively even overhang on either side. Okay, so the same with these letters. I'll just put some double-sided tape on. I was using glue for all of these, but I have found that the double-sided tape works just as well. Now that I know I can just quickly glide over the top of them and not worry about it staying just on the piece that I'm trying to stick down. This challenge is a very good one to get people looking through their stash for things and to be using things that sometimes can get left in the drawer or left in the cupboard without being used for some time. And this is case in point. I'm not a huge user of the wood veneer stuff, but I am happy with the way this has come out, and so I'm thinking that perhaps I should use it a little more because it is a natural type look, which tends to go with a lot of the photos that I put in my albums. And it will be interesting to watch the rest of this hop and see what other people have come up with, because I know that there's a lot of clever people on this hop, and there will be a lot of varied creations that come out and what people do with their wood veneer. So the list of other people doing this will be in the description below, so do follow along and have a look at what the others have done, and just pop it into your memory banks because you never know when it will come in handy. If you've enjoyed watching this video, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel and to perhaps leave a comment as well, and a thumbs up would be much appreciated. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that, and I wouldn't have used the wood veneer if it hadn't been for this challenge, so thank you for that. I will put some close-ups into the end of this video. But thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy everybody else's. Okay, cheers. Bye.